will run on you. So this Duke defense has to be prepared for that.
First year in the CAA after playing in the SoCon, and the Camels this year picked second, just ahead of the defending champ Hofstra. And then UNC, Wilmington, and Towson coming off of their third straight Big South championship. They've loved the level up in competition after going 42-18 a year ago. And it's Alyssa Hinault, the second baseman, to lead it off. And we're underway here in Durham. And Hinault, the junior, a huge jump from last year. This is a team, the sophomore class, the junior class especially, getting postseason experience. She hit .226 a year ago and offers it that one with a slow roller. A glove scoop onto first. And it's right to Tapia for out number one.
Really nice PFP there by Jayla Wright. Anytime you can field your position as a pitcher, you help your own cause. And anytime you get that first out of the game, just relaxes the defense a little bit.
Here's the sophomore Michaela McLean, their shortstop at .270. And a swing and a miss to start her off. This team, a good mix of returning players, 15 from a year ago, 12 new faces on the roster this year, with 9 freshmen coming in along with 3 transfers.
Yeah, we talked to head coach Trina Prater before this matchup, and she said, look, we've dealt with a lot of new faces. Any team, any year is brand new, and you got to kind of build that culture and build that chemistry. But what a job Trina Prater has done in her short tenure at Campbell. I mean, you look at the record, and Mike, it just speaks for itself.
She was a head coach at Buffalo as well as at Hampton, a total of 7 seasons as a head coach before coming here, and was an assistant for the prior 4 seasons at the University of Iowa. Former first-team All-American at LSU. So 1-2 for Wright here on McLean. And a swing and a miss. Back-to-back putaways to start the ball game.
And we talked about the drop ball from Jayla Wright. Watch this thing fall off the table. 12-6 spin, misses the barrel of McLean, and Jayla Wright gets her first strikeout of the day.
And not only here in the first 2 batters is she getting the swings and misses, but the 2 pitches that have been contacted both hit pretty much straight down into the ground.
Yeah, when Jayla Wright is in the circle for this Duke defense, she's going to induce a lot of ground balls, about 60% of the time. And this Duke defense has improved a ton from a year ago, and they will have to be stellar today with the amount of ground balls that Jayla Wright will likely induce.
Lindsey Lumsden, the first baseman. Ground ball foul of gold over at third base. And the count quickly 0-2. And this is where they get the most pop in their order. She's slugging a team best .526 among those in the starting lineup today. 2 home runs, 10 doubles. So Wright looks for a put away and a 1-2-3 first. And a slow roller gets past Wright. Vega with the turn on to first. It's a 1-2-3 first inning.
For hitters to beat.
Deanna Jennings to lead it off with the corners in here against Campbell. And she takes ball 1. So Jennings at the top, Claire Davidson with the on-base streak. And 13 home runs on the year. Vega behind her with 9 and a team best 10 stolen bases. Here for Jennings in the leadoff spot.
And keep an eye on Jennings in this lineup. I mean, look at Claire Davidson. 27 in a row. I think, Mike, I think that's good. I'm not sure.
I didn't do so well in math. I'll take your word for it.
But for Deanna Jennings to lead off this lineup, when she goes, the rest of this offense goes. And when you stack Claire Davidson behind her and Amina Vega behind Davidson, this offense is so tough to beat.
A rise induces the swing and the miss. 2 balls, 2 strikes on Jennings. With Duke coming off of a 10-1 win yesterday over East Carolina. Already its 10th run rule win of the season, so that's almost a third of the victories on the year for the Blue Devils.
And last year, in that incredible season that Duke had, Deanna Jennings was a mainstay at the top of this lineup. This year, she's moved from the 1 to the 9, back to the 1, where I feel like she's most comfortable.
Payoff pitch, a swing and a miss. And Smith starts off with a strikeout.
Hot start for the redshirt junior. Here it's the rise ball that just misses the barrel of Deanna Jennings. A nice movement up and into the zone. Really nice pitch by Isabella Smith, and even better to get that first lead out against an offense like Duke's.
And I suppose there's a comfort factor too, as you talked about with Deanna Jennings bouncing around, whether it's 1 or 9 in the lineup, to knowing when that lineup card gets posted on the dugout wall, you know where you're going to be.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, there's a comfort to it, and on days that you're not sure where you're going to be, that adds a distraction to the job at hand, and the job at hand is preparing for the game at hand. Jennings has moved to that 9 spot quite a lot, Mike, because that foot out of the box. She's dealt with that all year long, got called out for that quite a bit this year, so that's something we'll keep an eye on further into this game.
3-0 on Claire Davidson. She looks at called strike 1. It's Randy McLam behind the plate today. Luke Glusko over at first. Bonnie Day, the umpire, at third. And what is an eminently gorgeous and comfortable spring night here in Durham. And it's ball 4. Davidson over to first. Got to catch up with Marissa Young before the game. She's feeling very confident about where this team is right now. Big win yesterday, as they are just about a month away from hosting the ACC tournament here. Still plenty to play before then, but I think what she's talked about with Jayla Wright this year has been true about the team as well. Just keeping focus on the process and not looking too far ahead.
Yeah, they played really good softball up to this point, and like you mentioned, Mike, there's a ton of softball left to be played, but the bad taste in their mouth after Stanford came into Durham and won that super regional, that taste has not left this Duke team, and you can feel it in how they play.
1 ball, 1 strike on Amina Vega. I thought that was fascinating too, to hear it from Trina Prater in the other dugout of a team that moves conferences, where they won the league 3 years in a row. As that bunt is secured by Gillespie over at third. Her throw to first is not in time, so 2 down. But finding motivation wherever it might lie, whether you're not picked first or you are.
Yeah, you're exactly right, and they do it all different types of way. They try to score there. Amina Vega moves her feet, tries the drag bunt. Really nice job by Madeline Gillespie to charge it, see it quickly, and get up and look next play. Davidson able to make it safely. But to your point, both of these programs are no stranger to the NCAA tournament. And although, you know, talking to Coach Prater before this matchup, the priority is CAA play for them. This is a huge opportunity to play in a postseason atmosphere, to play an elite team, and to prepare them for the conference tournament later this year.
With their ace in the circle tonight, Isabella Smith, who started out with a strikeout. Well, that'll be hard to do against Kelly Torres, who's whiffed only 6 times this year. She and the Blue Devils this year seeing the ball really well. Chopper right back to the circle, and Smith takes care of business. Camels went 1-2-3.
In her new league, and the coaches immediately take notice of what you bring to that league. I mean, just speaks to the culture that Coach Prater has built at Campbell.
A 1-2-3 first for Jayla Wright, which included a strikeout. And Delaney McDilda, the DP, leading it off here. Senior hitting a career best .348 this season. Yeah, McDilda is that veteran presence in this lineup, and with those
12 newcomers, the 9 freshmen, 3 transfers coming in. That veteran presence for Coach Prater has been huge to kind of solidify the culture that they want.
Liner 1-1. Vega right there to retire McDilda. 4 up and 4 down for Jayla Wright.
Yeah, that drop ball is hard to time up, but if you're Delaney McDilda and the rest of this Campbell's team, that's a good sign. Anytime you get barrels off a pitcher who gets a ton of swing and misses, that is good for your offense.
Ball 1 on Madeline Gillespie. An interesting rain here as well. Even with right-handed batters in the box, the outfield shades a little bit off toward right center, the opposite of the pull side.
Yeah, and that just speaks to the velocity that's coming in from Jayla Wright. I mean, it's very hard for these right-handed hitters to get their barrel around that drop ball, so she sees a ton of fly balls out to right center. That's a really nice frame there by Francesca Freelick. That pitch catching the bottom part of the zone, maybe the black part of the inside portion of the plate, excuse me. It's a really nice job by the senior to receive that well and steal a strike for her pitcher.
Freelick behind the dish, giving Kelly Torres a bit of a reprieve from the role behind the plate with back-to-back games, and that's off the left leg of Gillespie, so she's the first base runner of the night for Campbell.
This 70-mile-per-hour drop ball hits her right on the left kneecap. And she doesn't move, and anytime that ball is all the way in the box, the batter does not have to move. And if you're Gillespie, you don't want to move. You want that free base because legacy lives on. Pain is only temporary, Mike.
The bruises fade, the memories sustain. A junior from Humboldt, Texas, Tyra Parker, does not get the bunt down successfully. And I'll be curious as well. Trina Prater, the Campbell head coach, told us that this game might be decided simply on defense. Who makes a mistake? And with the way that they aggressively run on the base paths, now Gillespie's not their leader, but she's a perfect 5 for 5 this year. When they do get runners on base, how risky will they choose to be?
Yeah, it's a very valid question. And also, you know, having Francesca Freelick behind the plate, her and Kelly Torres have really split time. Both have really good arms, but Frankie Freelick has been really good at catching runners this year. And I wonder if Trina Prater tests that early in this game or if she lets the game sort of flow on and see where they are later.
That bunt is fair, and Freelick, her throw to first is not in time. Parker beats it out, and it's runners at first and second. A flash of lightning up the first base line. And that draws an inquiry and a review from the Duke dugout.
Yeah, textbook bunt here by Tyra Parker, and Mike Speed does not slump. And Tyra Parker certainly has that. But based on that angle, I think Coach Marissa Young has an argument there. And I like the call in this situation. You stunt the rally early on. You get the second out of the inning. A really nice job by Francesca Freelick to get up and fuel that bunt, but Tyra Parker with the wheels.
So as Parker comes up the first base line, the ball has to hit the back of just... And the call stands over at first base. So the bunt single for Parker after the hit by pitch against Gillespie. And there's something brewing for the Campbells' top 2.
Yeah, and they're using what they're best at. They're finding ways on. They're using the ground, using the wheels. And now something is cooking for the Campbells. Campbells.
It's a portmanteau, if you will. The catcher, Savannah White, she looks at ball 1. 20th start of the year for White, who started almost every game over the last 2 seasons. Now in her junior campaign, 1 ball, 1 strike. And that was another issue too with experienced players on this roster. Coach Prater said, I think we faced every obstacle coming into this season where last year felt relatively easy in comparison. Of course, no season is ever easy, but whether it was injuries or obstacles off the field, whatever the case may be, that this year has certainly been different. And being a head coach at any sport, at any level, managing so many different personalities is never easy. I got a kick out of when she said that Dawn Staley in the middle of the year, they went undefeated, South Carolina women's basketball, won the national title, said she thought about retiring during the year. You know, a tongue-in-cheek comment, but it just goes to show, no matter the level of success, coaching is a difficult profession.
Yeah, and sometimes it can be a thankless job. And all the women together, all their personalities.
1-2 is easily playable for Vega. That's out number 2.
And you got to find ways for teams to mesh, and every team has a brand new personality. Then you add in injuries to the mix, you add in transfers to the mix. Coaching is difficult. Coaching is very, very difficult, but Coach Trina Prater has made it look far too easy.
And she said that coming into, well, not even really the offseason last year, it was when they were watching the selection show for last year's NCAA tournament, just waiting to see where they'd be sent, that she had inquiries from 2 Power 5 schools asking her to be their head coach, and turned it down to stay with Campbell, because she said for her it's not about the level, it's about loving where you are and winning where you are. So first and second, 2 out for Campbell. And after a 1-2-3 first train, it looks like the approach has been a little bit more patient here in the second.
Yeah, they're taking the balls, they're having really good pitch selection, and they're also taking advantage of the opportunities when Jayla Wright has missed over the middle. That bunt by Parker, although, you know, was 3 feet in front of the plate, was middle and up. And so Jayla Wright, not having the command we're used to seeing from the senior.
And it's 3-0 to Aaliyah Sweeney. Big pitch, and it's up and away even after she calls time. So it doesn't offer Sweeney the opportunity to take a hack, which is where Wright has really succeeded this year in missing bats.
Pitching for Campbell, number 12, Mariana Rodriguez.
So early pinch hitter here. This is Mariana Rodriguez, the senior. Charlie Montgomery, the center fielder, scheduled to hit here, but recognizing the situation and an opportunity to get runs on the board early, they make the call to the bench.
And I love this move. I love this move to put Mariana Rodriguez. She's been hot, CAA Player of the Week, has been swinging it well, and I think it's a well-timed timeout by head coach Marissa Young to talk to her veteran Jayla, the senior, to catch her breath.
So 5 straight out of the zone, and that's now 6 off the plate for Wright, who's a little befuddled.
I love how patient this Campbell's offense is being, knowing Jayla Wright is missing around the zone, and now Rodriguez, sitting in that 2-0 count, can pick a side of the plate and sit on that drop ball and get her barrel underneath of it.
Similar location to the 1-0 pitch, and it's 2-1. Right with the pinch hitter Rodriguez, the bases loaded and 2 out. And a ground ball, shortstop, Baker boots it. 1 run is in. Gillespie scores, and on the back end of the play, Parker is in as well, and it's 2-0 Camels.
Jayla Wright does her job by inducing the ground ball. Rodriguez dribbles it out to Baker, but it's Tyra Parker, the base runner from second base, that sort of shields the ball from Baker. And the Campbell Camels taking advantage early, scoring 2. And that's what we kind of expected from this team, Mike. They're not going to hit the long ball. They're not going to hit the balls out of the park, but they will find ways to score, and they will take advantage of opportunities.
No, they've got one hit, and it was a bunt that went 1 foot. The infield bunt single for Parker. So back to the top of the lineup now, and Alyssa Hinault, her second plate appearance in as many innings. And a re-entry at first base, Charlie Montgomery, who was pinch hit for by Mariana Rodriguez. So 2 runs in on the error by Baker at short. And that is a seeing eye base hit up the middle for Hinault. 3-0 Campbell against the number 3 team in the country.
When Alyssa Hinault goes, the rest of this offense goes. This time sits on a drop ball on the outside edge and finds a barrel up the middle. Sweeney scores, and looks like the Camels have no signs of stopping here in the top of the second.
McLean went down swinging on a drop ball last inning, 0 for 1. Wright tries to work her way out of the frame. Wave and a miss, ball in the dirt, and Freelick. So certainly some eyebrows raised in the early going of this game as Anna Gold leads off for the Blue Devils. They've got 5, 6, and 7 here in the lineup. Last night broke Christina Foreman's program record, 36th career home run, and their 10-1 victory on the road in Greenville against East Carolina.
And what a massive home run, not only for Anna Gold in the career that she's put together, but also for this team in this lineup. Coming into this season, the name that you circled in the lineup was Anna Gold. You know, now you've added in
a fly ball out to left field, and on the run, it's Parker who comes over. It looked like Montgomery was going to make that play from center, and she ceded the ground to her outfield mate.
The left fielder, number 5, Amaya Burgess.
So Gold just missing off of that one. Sending it out to the gap in left center, where a new video board will soon take its place out there heading into the postseason. And this is somewhat unfamiliar territory for the Blue Devils.
Yeah, Mike, we talked about it before this game about that #1 ranking.
First pitch swinging, Burgess center field, and there are 2 away.
You know, that #1 ranking is uncharted territory for this Duke team, and you know, it puts the X on your back. Every team that comes into Duke softball season, every team that plays the Blue Devils, it's a different level of energy. It's a different level of preparation. So for Duke, they're not used to having that big of a target on their back, and the question mark is there about how are they going to respond to it.
4 in a row retired, dating back to last inning for Isabella Smith. Frankie Freelick, the batter. Well, tell me this. You're on a team ranked #1 in the country. How much does that impact you? Because the line that everybody's always going to give is, we don't pay attention to it, but let's be honest, we do pay attention to it.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I mean, when you're retweeting it and you're posting on your Instagram story, it's hard to argue that, hey, we don't care about that number. And also, I think it's also a point of celebration for this Duke program. In their 7th year of existence, this is a massive accomplishment for them. But they understand, hey, you know, this is not where you get the trophy. No one gets the trophy for being #1 in Week 9, right? But at the same time, you got to imagine it can affect you mentally as a team.
Trickler foul off Freelick's bat, and they count 1 and 2. Yeah, because they know they're in a great spot. They're in position to be a host for regionals, but after what they did last year, that's not the goal anymore.
No, it's absolutely not the goal. And although they hosted the Super Regionals, Stanford came into town and I don't want to say wiped the floor, but man, Nigel Kennedy just came in and pitched gems, fodder as well. And it just stunted the momentum of this Duke team and really the Duke program at that point.
That pitch drifted just a little bit too much inside on Freelick, so she takes first with 2 away to bring up Jada Baker.
The shortstop, number 25, Jada Baker.
Foul ball for strike 1.
Isabella Smith is doing such a good job right now of mixing pitches. The top of this lineup got a steady diet of that rise ball, and I'm imagining that the top of the lineup went and communicated with this part of the lineup, hey, we're getting up. Now she's working in that drop ball more and more to keep these hitters off balance. And those are the types of swings you want to induce as a drop ball pitcher. They lose their legs, they cast out, and induce weak ground balls. But what makes Isabella Smith so good is that she can match that pitch with the rise ball, so you can't cheat to one or the other as a hitter.
She started the night with a strikeout, and that's fouled away. Climbing up in the zone there on Baker, still 1 and 2. Smith, a softball junkie. Her mom played in high school. Cousins played. And then it's off to travel ball. Another 1-2, down and in. Oh, it's danger off of first base. Freelick lost her footing, and they've got her in a rundown now. And over at first, Savannah White, the cat. It's really great to see, but the contingent of black coaches in college softball continues to grow. And you couldn't find 2 better athletes, coaches, people than we have here coaching these 2 teams.
Yeah, absolutely. They can talk the talk, but they've shown their players they can walk the walk as well. And 2 incredible advocates for our sport. Both of these programs are so lucky to have these 2 women at the helm.
It's 3-0 Campbell here to start the 3rd. They put 3 on the board in the 2nd. And the only member of the lineup who did not hit in that frame here is Lindsey Lumsden. Wouldn't you love to be a fly on the wall for that Monday night Zoom?
Oh, yeah. I think I might try to hack into it, actually. She said Natasha Watley tunes in as well.
Yeah.
They wouldn't reveal the whole guest list, though, so.
One day they're just going to ask, who's got their camera off there? And it's going to be you. Strikeout for Wright is her 3rd of the evening.
Yeah, it's a really nice start to this inning if you're Jayla Wright and this Duke Blue Devil team coming off last inning. I mean, it really feels, Mike, that the momentum has completely shifted into the Camels dugout. So to get that first out, so critical here in the top of the 3rd.
1-1 is low, 2-1. Clearly a very loose team tonight. Not a long road trip here for this game, just about an hour bus trip. Their dance moves before the game, by the way,
Wow.
they were in sync. I don't know whether it was
yes,
whether it was the electric slide or what it might have been, the cha-cha slide, but the grass out in front of their dugout got a workout before the game. Gold charges, throws, and it's kept in the glove. Tapia with the purposes within the athletic department offices. It's broken. The right arm has fallen off, but the right arm still travels with the mannequin, and it wears 2 chains, one for home runs, one for runs batted in. And they are not your dollar store variety chain. One of those, we got to hold it. It's like 5 pounds.
Yeah, I was doing bicep curls with it.
That was perfect for me because 5 is my max on curls.
Good for this Campbell team.
And Mr. Campbell did not move. He was in the first base coach's box for the entirety of pregame warmups. Wright's got it in her favor, 1-2. Eighth time that these two teams have squared off. Duke won both matchups last year, 6-1 all time, as the series favors the Blue Devils. Wright's got her 4th strikeout, another 1-2-3 inning. Now it's time to see
Of those 3, but the ERA for Duke makes up for it on the offensive side.
8-9-1 for the Blue Devils, slash to the 3rd, and Jada Baker with her 2nd trip to the plate tonight, the first one not officially recorded, as her time in the right-hand batter's box ended as Freelick got plucked off of first base on a great throw by Savannah White behind the plate. What do you think has been the biggest leap forward for the Blue Devils from 23 to this year?
The veteran presence. I mean, the freshmen last year were a massive part offensively and defensively. Cassidy Curd in the circle.
Chopper to 3rd, and Gillespie gets it across the diamond. Baker one away.
But offensively, it was Deanna Jennings, Amina Vega. They were freshmen. So you kind of go in, you try to get your feet wet, you're trying to get comfortable in the postseason. Now those freshmen have been there, and they're still a huge part of this team. Amina Vega offensively, Cassidy Curd pitching-wise, and so that veteran presence of Giselle Tapia, graduate senior, amongst those sophomores who've really grown up over the past year, I think that has been a key difference.
And the experience speaking for itself this year as Tapia comes to the plate. I love what Coach Prater said about how she looks at her team, and this is applicable for anybody. Are you a steak knife or are you a butter knife?
Write that down, folks. Write it down.
I did. They both do the same job but do it in different ways. And one used poorly, not that I'm speaking from experience, might send you to the emergency room for stitches.
Ooh. Ooh. The butter knife?
That's the only time I've ever had stitches, my pinky. Cut it open. Don't recommend. Couple of hops, McLean, and she quickly gets it on to Lumsden. 2 down on ground balls to the left side.
Head coach Trina Prater talked about the importance of her defense playing well tonight, and so far they have been nearly perfect. I mean, I just heard her yell to her shortstop McLean, keep moving through the ball, so she's staying on this team, trying to turn them from butter knives to steak knives, but so far tonight they're playing like the steak knife.
Back to the top of the order, and Deanna Jennings. So 9 batters have come to the plate for Duke. None have recorded a base hit, a walk and a hit batter. What adjustments would you look for here second time through?
they have to pick a pitch off of Isabella Smith. If they're going to attack the rise ball, they have to commit to attacking that pitch. If they're going to attack the drop ball, they have to attack that pitch. Right now, they're sort of sitting in limbo.
And 3 ground balls, 3 outs. 3 innings in the books. 1-17 on the year. Picked second in their first year in the CAA. And their head coach, Trina Prater, said defense could be a difference maker in this game, and it has been thus far. A second inning error on Jada Baker, the Duke shortstop, allowed 2 runs to score, a total of 3 across in the second. Jayla Wright regained her balance in the third with 3 straight outs. And that's a difficult throw for Vega. It gets away from Tapia. And Parker is safe for the second time tonight. Her speed's such a challenge. She bunted her way on back in the second, and here made life difficult for Vega.
Yep, takes this drop ball and takes it with her up the right side. Amina Vega charges it, but the throw runs into the line and kind of handcuffs Giselle Tapia. That's a play that if you ask Tapia, she'll make 99 times out of 100. But that's what speed does, Mike. It puts pressure on defenses. It creates those miscues, and Tyra Parker is having a really nice night.
She's also second on the squad, 14 stolen bases. We mentioned it earlier, there's 71 stolen bases, most in the CAA. That was earlier when the game was 0-0. Do you think that the score changes the equation for them trying to swipe it back?
I think so. I think you're on attack mode. I mean, you put your foot on the gas pedal, and you can tell Duke defensively, they're on their heels right now.
Corners are in against Savannah White, and the ball off of Freelick's glove. Forget about the stolen base. It's a free bag for Parker to get into scoring position.
And the show bunt by Savannah White, and pulling it back into the eyes of Freelick. Jayla Wright oftentimes uses the drop ball down. This one goes up. Freelick unable to attain it. And Tyra Parker takes advantage of the extra 60 feet.
So a wild pitch following the error scored on Tapia over. So the count 1-1 here on Savannah White. Squares up again and takes ball 2.
And right now, if you're Duke, you gotta just fill up the zone. Savannah White is showing you, hey, she wants no part of swinging. She's trying to put the ball on the ground. I mean, for her, the numbers haven't been as high as she's used to, dealing with some injuries. So trying to move Parker over and tackle another run.
Foul at the plate. Rain, collectively, between the games you've played and watched and the games that I've never played in but watched, we've watched thousands of innings of this sport. How many times can you recall where you've seen a mid-at-bat catching change? Because there's none that come to mind for me outside of an injury.
You know, I think Coach Young actually did that to me back in the day. So I think that was the only one I saw, but Coach Young is not afraid to push the buttons at the right moment, and in that moment she felt this move was the right one.
So a swing on 2-2. Nevertheless, it's an advance of Parker over to third, and White eventually, after an adventurous at-bat, is retired for the first out here in the Campbell fourth.
That's just a really nice job by Savannah White, knowing you're behind, knowing you didn't necessarily do your job by getting the bunt down, to have a positive at-bat, a quality at-bat. We call them quabs. Move Tyra Parker over to third and give your offense a chance to score another one here in the fourth.
This is Sweeney. Is that a proprietary term, quabs?
No, I mean, ask any college softball player. Quabs are talked about all over the place. There's quab charts, there's quab chants.
But NARPs don't get quabs.
Oh, you said it. You said it.
That's non-athletic regular person. 0-1, Duke trying to prevent a fourth Camels run with the infield in. Sweeney walked in the second, came in to score. And Alyssa Hinault RBI single.
And that's a nasty pitch by the veteran to pull the string, throw the off speed. I mean, out of the hand, it looks exactly like the changeup, and I wouldn't be surprised if Duke goes right back to that pitch.
Well, only the 60th pitch of the night for Wright, but it has been an adventure of twists and turns.
And you can hear the Camels dugout from up here, Mike. I mean, all the momentum is in that dugout right now. They are playing to win, and it kind of feels like Duke right now is playing not to lose.
Still just one out, so a fly ball could do quite a job here. Grounded to short. Baker throws home, and the tag, they get the out. Parker trying to score. Torres did a good job avoiding obstruction, making the play, and so Sweeney safe at first, but most importantly, the run prevented.
Yeah, really nice job by Jayla Wright to throw the drop ball down and away, and Baker to attack that ball, gain ground, and then like you said, Mike, not blocking that plate, giving the runner the leading edge to home. Really nice job by Kelly Torres to take that ball, put the tag down quickly, and get that out for Duke. A huge, really momentum swing in this game.
So this is the first plate appearance of the night for Charlie Montgomery. Her time in the order came up in the second, and they pinch hit for her. And that was the error on the ground ball by Mariana Rodriguez that scored the first two for Campbell. She re-entered and now steps into the batter's box for the first time. And she is out. Ball hit her as she came out of the box. It starts with Claire Davidson.
Yeah, this inning is going to be either the turning point for Duke or really a massive momentum swing back into the Camels dugout, because the second time through for this Duke offense, they are so difficult to get out, and especially with Claire Davidson leading it off.
And to give you a picture of how impressive Duke has been here at home, their last home loss regular season, Sunday, March 26th of 2023 against then number 6 Florida State.
And we talked to head coach Trina Prater before this one about prioritizing conference play. How are you going to pitch this matchup? And, you know, she kind of said, like, we kind of flipped the coin and decided to throw Isabella Smith, knowing that she needs this experience for the postseason. And she said, we'll probably still pitch by committee. But, hey, right now, Mike, I don't know if I'd take her out.
That'd be a big roll of the dice to do that, as right now she has not allowed a hit through 3 innings and faced just one batter over the maximum. That was a walk to Davidson in the first, and she walks Davidson again here in the 4th.
And you never want to give up that free pass, especially to start out an inning, but in the case of how Claire Davidson has been hitting, 460, handful of home runs, I mean, it's not that bad of a move, but now you got to deal with the bat of Amina Vega.
Vega tried to lay down the bunt in the first inning. Arc did a little bit too much, and Gillespie came in from third and snagged it out of the air. Vega's slugging percentage second best in this starting lineup, only behind Davidson, who really hasn't seen much to hit. And the experience here tonight for Isabella Smith, she's no stranger to success in the circle, but going into the postseason, you're not looking at a 1 or a 2 seed in a regional. You're going to be going up against the big power conference teams, and this is exactly what, when you get into May, is what you think back to.
Yeah, absolutely. This is going to be a huge test and sort of a measure marker for Isabella Smith.
Liner to second, caught by Hinault. Doesn't have a play over at first, but good contact there from Vega right into Hinault's glove.
And this is a good sign for Duke and their offense. Barreling pitches, but Hinault right in the right place at the right time. Stabs this one. And gets the first out here in the bottom of the fourth.
Kelly Torres 0 for 1, started off the day as the DP and jumped in behind the plate to take over for Freelick defensively. And when you talked about earlier, the development of players, the leadership on this team, I think Kelly Torres embodies that to a T.
Yeah, absolutely. She is not afraid to be the vocal person defensively and offensively.
And she strokes one into left field, down for Duke's first base hit of the night. To set up Anna Gold with runners at first and second. And all of a sudden, after being hitless, the Blue Devils bring the tying run to the plate.
And this is a really nice cut by Kelly Torres. This one catches too much of the white. Torres, so good bat-to-ball skills. Controls her move forward, turns the barrel behind her, and tattoos that ball out in the left center. And this is a well-timed timeout, knowing who you have at the plate and how hot Anna Gold.
Give me a treat. So first and second for Gold, 36th career home run yesterday. The new Duke all-time leader. And whether it's getting your driver's license, taking the SAT, some things in life are better once they're behind you. It sounded like that was the case for Anna Gold as well. She had slumped a little bit between home runs 35 and 36 and massacres that foul down the left field line.
And that's the kind of power that Anna Gold is capable of every single time she swings the bat. But the good news, if you're Isabella Smith, is that's exactly what you want. You want an 0-2 count, you want her to wrap around those pitches, foul them off, and then you want to expand the zone and get Anna Gold to chase.
And Gold does just that on a ball in the dirt, strike three.
Just perfect execution by Isabella Smith. Goes up and in and then finishes with a drop away. Anna Gold having to defend the up and in, but also battle the low in the way. Gets her to chase. And what a pitch by the redshirt junior to stunt the momentum in the Blue Devils dugout.
So when you talked about picking a pitch, beautiful stop there by White, was that a case of Gold getting hungry at the plate, seeing that you're in the fourth inning, you're down 3, you've only got 1 hit, I want to go for whatever I see?
Well, I think you just credit Isabella Smith because she worked away. So based on that at bat, it looked like Anna Gold was sitting in. And so Smith went away to get the first strike. Gold still sits in. She gets the pitch she wants, but she turns it left field, foul. Now she's in an 0-2 count. Now you can't pick a side. You got to battle all sides. And so then Isabella Smith goes low and away, the exact opposite plane and trajectory of the up and in. Really nice stuff.
And a 2-strike pitch that was never going to touch the zone. Dangerously tantalizing as she gets her second strikeout and is behind 3-0 on Burgess. Fly down to center field, back in the second. Ball gets loose, runners take off, and everybody advances. Davidson to third and Torres to second.
This was a little bit of a wacky one. Burgess shows bunt. Umpire calls strike one. I think the base runners thought it was ball 4, but
I did.
Regardless, ball on the ground, they anticipated and they stole the bag.
And a routine play, Parker left field, inning over. So the Blue Devils break up the no-hit bid for Izzy. Again, this is the 6th game against a Power 5 conference for the Camels in this season with about a month to go before we get to the postseason. So they're well tested here, but this is a different level because you're facing a team that is, according to Softball America, #1, the ESPN poll, #3, undoubtedly one of the top 5 teams in the country.
Yeah, it's an elite team, but this Campbell team has been fearless. As they came into Durham, they came in loose, playing music. They said, why not us? And so far, they are playing loose, and they're playing with freedom. And Mike, I also think it helps, too, that this team ended their season here last year. You know, so they have those memories, and they played really well. They just ran into a really good Charlotte 49ers team. But you can tell in the dugout, there is no fear in that dugout. They are here to win, and they are here to upset a lot of Blue Devil fans.
Charlotte having another very solid season as they move from Conference USA to the American, and it all comes full circle. Former Charlotte assistant Taylor White now on the staff here at Duke.
And Mike, we've talked about the defense on the Campbell side, but Taylor White has come in and really kind of redone the defense of Duke. They're about 10 points higher than they were last year, and of course, it's kind of ironic that that's kind of been what's hamstrung them here tonight is that defensive play.
Second inning error at short by Jada Baker. A 2-run play, and then an RBI single from Alyssa Hanault, who's at the plate here for Campbell, and that's the difference.
And Hanault with that third run, that third RBI for her team. I mean, she just puts together great at-bats every time she steps into the box. She battles late in the counts. She sees pitches. She communicates with the rest of the lineup about what Jayla Wright is doing later in this game. So impressed by Alyssa Hanault.
Tough take to get to 2-2.
This is a really nice off-speed by Jayla Wright, but watch the glove movement by Kelly Torres. Kind of pulls it down just enough to not get a call from the home plate umpire. Maybe a little down, but a really nice pitch by Jayla Wright.
And her break even. Diving stop Vega from a knee. Out #1.
And it's been the defense from both sides. This time Jayla Wright turns over a drop ball, but it's Amina Vega with a diving play and throw from her knees. Man, the speed of which to transition to your knee and start a throw over to Tapia. What a play by the second baseman, Amina Vega.
One away, Michaela McLean. 0 for 2 with a couple of strikeouts. Goes after the first pitch. And it's a foul ball. Neither the home plate umpire nor the third base umpire put their hands in the air to signal a foul ball. But it's strike one.
I guess it was just mutually agreed upon.
Self-evident. Although I've got 2 eyes and didn't see anybody call a foul ball. That's bloop foul, long run, and it's Vega again. I believe it was the other day in a game, I forget who the Mets were playing. They were playing somebody, chopper up third like that, and the umpire standing behind the bag immediately puts 2 hands in the air, signaling foul ball, then brings 1 arm down and signals fair ball.
Ooh.
And so you can't change that call, obviously, because you've blown the play dead and the runner stopped running up to first base.
Oh, wow.
But
did it result in an ejection from a manager?
wouldn't have been terribly surprising, right? Hard to believe we've seen 3 runs scored in this game. Only 3 hits, 2 of them from Campbell, 1 from Duke. Off the bat of Kelly Torres last inning. And Jayla Wright looking for her third 1-2-3 inning in 5 frames.
Yeah, Jayla Wright has really settled in. And of course, if this game continues, or it looks like it might continue, and it doesn't go Duke's way, of course you circle Jada Baker's error, right? But you gotta credit Isabella Smith on the other side of things. She is pitching a gem as it stands here in the top of the fifth.
Hard hit down the line. Burgess gives chase, keeps her body in front of it, and what a job there. It wasn't played perfectly by any means, but off the bat, you could certainly understand if Lumsden was thinking two, and she's held to a single.
Yeah, this one was belted by the freshman. Gets a nice piece of this one, gets her barrel under the drop ball, and yeah, not textbook, but Amaya Burgess does a nice job of getting the ball in. I think Lindsey Lumsden missed an opportunity there to take the extra 60 feet and end up with a double.
Two away for the senior Delaney McDilda. So Delaney is engaged to be married this June. And you know she's great at planning because her wedding date is June 8th. Do you know what the final day of the World Series is?
June 7th.
Nailed it.
Ah.
So no matter what, if Campbell goes all the way to the Champ Series at the World Series, she's still good to get back in time to Maryland for the wedding.
That is by design. That gotta be right. Congratulations, Delaney McDilda.
She's got it 2-0 here against Wright, who has gotten the best of the designated player twice.
McDilda 0 for 2 on the day, but in that second inning, she hit a line shot at Amina Vega, so she's been on time in this game. So if you're the Campbell Camels, you're pretty happy with McDilda at the plate right now.
Hard contact is good contact. And it's 3-1.
And now she can sit whatever pitch she wants. And this Campbell's offense does not hit the long ball often, but if I'm McDilda right now, I am trying to get my barrel under a drop ball and give my team a 5-0 lead here in the fifth.
8 homers as a team this year. Duke has 2 players with more than 8 home runs on top of the 3-1 pitch.
And you asked for difference makers between the 2023 season and the 2024 season, and I didn't mention, Jayla Wright. And for her to throw a 3-1 changeup in this situation speaks to the veteran that she has become, the confidence that she has thrown with. And of course, things aren't looking great tonight, but she's only given up 3 hits. So that is a good sign if you're Marissa Young in the dugout, seeing your veteran throw that 3-1 changeup with command.
Lumsden on the move from first, and she does it again. Gets the strikeout.
And for Campbell, this would be that marquee win of the 2024 season.
How's this for Erie history as well? In that game when Campbell won here, today they scored 3 in the second. In that game they scored 3 in the third. And the Blue Devils battled back with 1 bottom 3, 1 bottom 7. But that was not enough that day. So Freelick, Baker, and Tapia to up the bottom third of the order for the Blue Devils, who have just 1 base hit. But the only inning they've gone down in order was in the third. Off the end of the bat, and Hinault retires Freelick. This would be the type of game where if you simply looked at the line score, you would have no idea how much transpired underneath the surface.
Yeah, you're exactly right. I mean, from the defensive plays of Campbell to the defensive plays of Duke, right, the box score just does not tell the story of this game. And a lot of softball we played left, but what a game we've had so far.
And the Blue Devils have had action in the pen a couple of times, but I suppose as long as this lead holds, wouldn't expect any reciprocity from Campbell down the right field line.
Yeah, you can't take Isabella Smith out. I mean, I don't think she would let her head coach, Trina Prater, take her out of this game. This Duke offense, although they've had a couple barrels, Torres, Vega, they have just found no rhythm, and what Campbell has done so effectively is isolate the top of the lineup. Yeah, you've walked Claire Davidson, but you'll take that any day of the week if you can get Amina Vega out, if you can get Torres out.
It's past Gillespie. Strong throw from McLean is off target, and it takes a Duke bounce. High in the air, Baker, 2 bags.
We've talked about Campbell's speed, but we also have to talk about the Duke speed. Here, Isabella Smith executes a drop ball really well, but it's McLean's errant throw that allows Baker to take the extra 60 feet. Doesn't really get a good grip on this ball. The ball kind of hopped up into her belt. Couldn't find a grip, tried to get rid of it quickly. And looks like the errors are playing on both sides of the field here tonight, Mike.
Baker committed one earlier. She's the beneficiary of one here. And McLean gets redemption by recording the second out of the inning. So it does go down as a single for Jada Baker, plus the advance on the throwing error by McLean at short. So the second hit of the night for Duke. But that's the type of play where at short, you've got the split-second decision to make of, do I try and get the out at first because it's going to be close. You saw there, it was safe all the way, hence the base hit. But you do give a runner in scoring position with the error, and it's Deanna Jennings, the batter.
Yeah, I think you're spot on for the sophomore McLean to understand, hey, Duke is chasing 3 runs. Don't give them an opportunity to score, hold on to that ball, and live to see another day. Something Deanna Jennings has been battling all year long is staying inside of the box. So keep an eye on her left foot. She has been called out of the box a number of times. What she's done to make that adjustment is opened up that right foot, trying to keep her line forward towards the pitcher. But anytime that foot is outside of the box, outside of that white line, and Deanna Jennings makes contact, and the umpire behind the plate calls it, it's a strike, a dead ball, strike, and in the case that there's 2 strikes, it's strike 3.
Whoa, up and in, look out. What is helpful about opening the foot that allows her to correct the error?
I got to imagine that, and basically what we talked to Coach Young about before the game is it helps her not move that front foot directly towards home plate. So you'll see she starts way off the plate and then moves in. But it still looks like her foot's out of the box nearly every single time.
So you're saying it's kind of like really aggressive basketball defense? They can't call a foul on every play?
Yeah, and also to credit our home plate umpire, it's very difficult to see a fastball up and away and then a foot low and in.
And that pitch upstairs gets a swing and a miss and a fired up Isabella Smith. Her third. Here in the 6th, 3-0 Campbell. 81 pitches in for Jayla Wright. As that gets fouled away to start the inning with Gillespie at the plate, who's 0 for 1, also hit by a pitch.
And if you're Campbell right now, of course, three runs to Duke does not feel like a lot. So 1 run here would just put the momentum completely in your dugout. I mean, especially with how Isabella Smith is pitching to this Duke offense. But 3 runs just doesn't feel comfortable right now if you're Coach Trina Prater.
So 27 pitches. That was the really troublesome inning. 3 runs across, 8 batters came to the plate. And in that inning, just 2 base hits for Campbell. A hit by pitch, a walk, an error. And that's been the difference in the game. I want to go back, though, to that graphic we saw coming at the start of the inning. You're looking at elite pitchers in the country there. Nyjah Kennedy, Millie Thompson from Clemson, who the Blue Devils are going to see this weekend. And 3 of those pitchers on the Duke staff.
Yeah, what a luxury to have those arms in your bullpen amongst some of the best arms in the country.
It's a strikeout between the wickets on Torres, and Gillespie gets first base. So earlier in the game, Duke made a change behind the plate. Freelick out, Torres in, and yet that one got by Kelly. And we'll see if there's going to be a pinch runner here for Campbell.
And this is a nasty drop ball that just hits the plate and skids through the 5-hole of Kelly Torres. A couple uncharacteristic miscues by these Duke catchers. Not something you typically see, and it definitely hurts when it comes on strike 3 for the first out of the inning. But Campbell just taking advantage of these opportunities given by Duke.
Jamaria Charlie, pinch runner at first base for Madeline Gillespie. And Parker doesn't get it down on strike 1. Fundamentally speaking there, too, for Kelly Torres, she did exactly what you're supposed to do. She's down, has the glove turned forward, rather than you see a lot of catchers trying, more so if the ball's outside the frame of their body, try and backhand it. Like you said, just a really bad bounce.
Yeah, and for young catchers out there, the key is to get your glove down early. Get your glove down first because the knees will drop, but sometimes catchers are late with that glove there. The glove was a tad late. The ball skipped through, and 70 miles per hour, there's little room for error.
So officially, strikeout wild pitch, and the 6th K of the night for Jayla Wright. Still getting the swings and misses.
Yeah, Jayla Wright's going to keep you in the ballgame. I mean, she's just got too good of stuff, especially that changeup that she's working more and more to these Campbell hitters. But that's not been the problem tonight. The problem has been the defense and the offensive side for Duke.
Blue Devils just 2 hits on the night.
There we saw Jamaria Charlie with the green light there. Wonder if Trina Prater will keep that on here for the 1-2 pitch.
5 stolen bases, 7 tries for Charlie at first. Looking for their first top 25 win in 6 years. And that is a fair ball. Torres sheds the mask, her throw to first, in time to get Parker with blazing speed.
Than I thought, but looks like she's out.
Indeed, out number 1. How difficult as a catcher is that throw where you've got the runner going up the baseline and you're trying to find a good target for the first baseman without hitting the runner?
It is difficult, but that's when your first baseman is communicating with you where she is. And that play really wasn't a huge factor, but the key there is to get your hips turned around that ball and get yourself in a good position to make a solid throw.
So Happy Gilmore did teach us something. It's all in the hips. That's ball 1 to Savannah White. I guess technically it was Chubbs, not Happy, but who's counting? "90 pitches in. And the action tonight in the Duke bullpen has been at times Lily Walker, Danny Drugmuller, and there's the pit transfer Drugmuller. Duke perfect at home this year. It's been more than a calendar year since a regular season home defeat. Only Oklahoma, Florida State, and Louisville have felled the Blue Devils this year. Oh, that is a beautiful offering from Wright to get her 7th strikeout.
And Jayla Wright's drop ball is at 70. The changeup's at 60 miles per hour. That's a 10-mile-per-hour difference. Here, Jayla Wright pulls the string, gets White out on her front foot. Can't make a contact. And like you said, Mike, 7 strikeout of the day for the senior. What a job by Jayla Wright.
Aaliyah Sweeney, the right fielder, a walk and a fielder's choice.
And Mike, what that changeup does early in that count is it speeds up the fastball. You gotta be able to be timed up for both of those pitches, which is nearly impossible to do. And there we see Aaliyah Sweeney late on the fastball, and now 0-2, she's gotta fend off both pitches.
Second game in her last 3 outings with at least 7 strikeouts for Wright. And that's a foul ball. As Gold comes over to scoop it up. A season best 14 strikeouts back in February against her former school, Michigan State.
Yeah, she's just been stellar all year long, and she's pitching really well here tonight. I mean, excuse the second inning, but those were mistakes that the defense would like to have back. But this is not a situation you want to be in for Duke. You want to save Wright for Clemson this weekend. You don't want her pitching 120, 130 pitches here on a Wednesday night, knowing you're going to go down to Clemson, South Carolina.
She's only thrown over 100 once this year. That was on the road against Louisville in 5 1/3. And now just 3 pitches shy of that. High ball, right center field. Jennings gives way to Davidson, and the inning is over. A couple of strikeouts, and in that game, the Blue Devils had 3 hits. Tonight, just 2 against Isabella Smith, who has been sensational through her first 5 innings.
Yeah, Isabella Smith has painted all parts of the plate, all 4 quadrants, using the rise ball, using the drop ball, keeping these hitters off balance. And the Raleigh, North Carolina native probably has family in attendance tonight, so what a job by the redshirt junior to come out and show out for her team.
Not any stranger to high-level play either. If you look at wins above replacement, she was 21st in the country last year, just behind Taryn Kern, who was a freshman at Indiana last year, Erin Koffel at Kentucky. And then in terms of chase percentage, which we looked at earlier, 3 Duke pitchers among the best in the country, she was behind Kelly Maxwell, then of Oklahoma State, on Montana Fouts at Alabama last year.
Yeah, it's good company. It's good company. And so for folks who know Isabella Smith and know this Campbell program, this matchup tonight, it shouldn't be a surprise. They have an ace in the circle. They're going to be a problem in the CAA for years to come. And the junior shows no signs of stopping against this highly touted Duke offense.
So this is really the first time that Smith and Davidson have kind of put the gloves up and taken some jabs at each other, because Davidson's first 2 plate appearances were both walks.
Yeah, and Davidson right now is the first time I've seen her chase out of the zone without that 2 strikes in the count. So just shows the movement that Smith has up and through the zone.
1-2, a flare to short. And there really wasn't much to do with that pitch.
We talked about the rise ball, we talked about the drop ball, haven't talked about the changeup yet, and here it is, perfectly executed, low and away to Claire Davidson, gets her outside of her legs. All she can do is throw a barrel, weak contact to Michaela McLean, and Isabella Smith gets the first out against the hottest part of this Duke lineup.
Now Amina Vega, hitters 1 through 4 have combined to reach base 3 times total, 2 walks for Davidson, and then in the on-deck circle, Kelly Torres with a 4th inning single.
And if you're Duke, that's the pitch you gotta lay off of. You can't go after that up and out of the zone, in on your hands, but look, Mike, it's much more difficult than it looks. the best way to hit a rise ball pitcher is to not hit the ball. Lay off that rise ball until she brings it down into the heart of the plate.
Seems like for both pitchers, Smith for Campbell and Wright for Duke, that the changeup has been the great differentiating pitch today.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's just been another element to Smith and Wright's game to keep these hitters off balance, and that's what you have to do to be successful against elite teams.
Montgomery for the second out. The last top 25 win for Campbell 6 years ago. They have never taken down a top 10 team.
The catcher, number 3, Kelly Torres.
So this will be quite a night. And overall, the mark for Campbell, 21-17-1, deceiving because they played a challenging schedule.
Yeah, and they lost their first 6 games, and we talked to head coach Trina Prater about the adversity, the injuries. They were missing key parts of their lineup. Savannah White behind the plate wasn't there early in this season, so you scratch those first 6 off, and since then, they've been pretty darn good, especially in conference play. And for this Campbell team, and any team in a mid-major, apart maybe from the American, some other conferences, the conference is the most important. Seeding for the conference tournament, winning that conference tournament, that is the golden ticket to the NCAA tournament.
Because you're probably only getting one team in. And I don't know if this surprised you as much as it did me, but that coach said that she didn't feel like this team was really even settled in terms of condensing the roster down to a core group of players who you know you're going to call upon on a given night until the start of conference play.
And it's a good problem to have in a way, because at the start of the year, Trina Prater said, hey, we got 15 or so that we're working into the lineup consistently, including pinch runners, DPs, pinch hitters. But now they're working at 11, and you can tell the feel is there for this team.
Change misses 3 and 2. She really slows it down, 52.
And slowing it down low and away sets up that high and in fastball. It just speeds it up, and it's so hard to defend both as a hitter.
Torres has one of the 2 Duke hits on the night, and the 3-2 is a foul ball.
And look, Erin Avallo has done a wonderful job with this pitching staff. She was a very good pitcher in her own right at Georgia. But you saw her bring the clipboard out earlier in this game at a critical moment, showing the numbers. This is a very well-coached team. They have a game plan. They've scouted Duke incredibly well. And so far, the pitch calling has been stellar by this Campbell team.
Smith looking for her 88th pitch of the night to be the final one of the bottom of the 6th. Try and make it a 1-2-3 frame. Second time on the payoff pitch, and it is outside, ball 4. On the ESPN app as well. You know, if it's all access and Mac Brown is involved, you're guaranteed to get some gems. Duke has stranded 4 through the first 5 innings and hoping to avoid the same fate here with Torres at first. And Anna Gold 0 for 2. Marissa Young telling us before the game that just to try and get Anna into a better headspace after slumping a little bit, move her around in the lineup. She hits her 36th yesterday in that 10-1 win. And got a good piece of that one, just foul.
Yeah, that was the pitch that Anna Gold wants back. Missed middle in, drop ball. But to your point, Mike, Anna Gold has all the tools. It's not like she doesn't have the talent. She's got the talent. It's just something's got to click up top. That's a really good no call by our home plate umpire, Randy McClam. Sometimes when it hits the catcher right in the mitt, you get excited, but that pitch was off the plate, and oftentimes we're getting on the umpire for doing something wrong, but Randy McClam has done a really nice job tonight.
Smith went to the same location, tried to get the outside black against back-to-back right-handed hitters, and finds herself in consecutive 3-2 counts.
And this is a big one. Knowing the power that Anna Gold has, you don't want to walk her, but you don't want to serve something up.
Whoa, look out of the on-deck circle for Burgess there. Had to scoot out of the way.
Yeah, that was, I gasped up here. It's easy to smile behind the mesh there.
Yeah, we're good. We're good back here. 3-2 was fouled off by Torres. Gold does the same, and another payoff pitch. Foul is their room. And not enough for Lumsden. With outstretched arm, comes up empty.
And you can tell how much this Campbell's defense wanted that one. Just in the right spot to drop, but all three attacking Lumsden, Hinault, and Sweeney. It's Lumsden with the best opportunity, inches away from making the play. And here with the payoff pitch, that could be a huge missed opportunity for Campbell's, for the Campbell Camels.
That's in the dirt, ball 4. So Duke, for the second time tonight, brings the tying run to the plate, this time with much more urgency. Backs against the wall, only 4 outs to work with. Gold at first, Torres at second, and Amaya Burgess coming up.
And if you're Campbell, there's no sweat. Play your outfield back, play no doubles defense.
20-0 at home on the year. Haven't lost in the regular season in this ballpark in more than a calendar year. Burgess takes ball 1.
And Amaya Burgess has some pop in the bat. Can hit the long ball, but she also has speed, all kinds of tools. So you'll see the left side of the infield not play too deep, respecting the fact that Burgess can drop a bunt down.
Burgess might have missed one on the 1-0 pitch.
I don't know if she was looking away, but that one was center cut, thigh high.
2 on, 2 out. 100th pitch of the night for Smith into left field. Diving try, Parker missed it. It gets to the warning track. Torres scores. Gold is run number 2. And Burgess comes through here in the 6th. It's a ball game in Durham, 3-2. And the Blue Devils not done in the frame.
That's a double for Amaya Burgess. Stand up and get loud. It's time for a double-double.
And the freshman finds a way. Amaya Burgess takes this pitch off the end of the bat and finds a spot out in left. Tyra Parker with the dive. And the miss. Montgomery backs her up, but it opens the opportunity for Torres to score, Gold to score. And Duke threatening with the 3rd run in scoring position. Amaya Burgess. And Mike, that's what I was talking about. That's a tough call. If you're Tyra Parker, you want to make the big play, get your team out of the inning. But if you hold up, let that ball in front of you, it's bases loaded, maybe they score 1 run, but you don't have the tying run at second base. That one was an in-betweener. I think Tyra Parker just missed it, could have made the play, but something to kind of think about.
Well, especially for her. We've seen her leave scorched earth on the base paths. She trusts her speed to be able to get to those balls more often than not, no doubt.
And it's against the instincts of Tyra Parker and the rest of his outfield to not go for that. And I wonder what the conversation will be with Trina Prater. That one is an in-betweener that's a tough call to make, but Duke ends up cashing in.
So Freelich came up swinging, and the count in her favor. Smith gets the corner, count is even.
And if I'm Smith, I'm going right back there because that one was in tight on the hands of Freelich. A very difficult pitch to get after, but gets the call and evens the count at 2-2.
She's been a strike away, 4 batters in a row. And the 2-2, a swing and a miss. Ball is loose, throw it to first. Top 7, it's the bottom of the order. Charlie Montgomery, 9-1-2 for Campbell. And the only other time that Campbell has defeated Duke was also by a 3-2 final score. 6 games in the series to Duke, 1 for the Camels. Two hops, easy work for Vega.
And Mike, an interesting part of this matchup too is if Campbell goes on to win the CAA, there's a very good chance they could land at the Durham Regional depending on how things shake out. So, you know, whatever direction this game goes, whoever wins, whoever loses, it's got to feel good for the Campbell side knowing if you come back here, you got some confidence against one of the best teams in the country.
The NCAA does find a way to give you those repeat matchups in regionals in a lot of years. The geographically proximate teams to one another. And Campbell picked 2nd in their league this year, 1st year in the CAA, going from the Big South. And they are in a 3-way tie for 2nd right now behind Delaware. Hofstra picked as the preseason favorite. They opened up, Campbell did, going all the way up to the North Shore of Long Island, taking on Stony Brook. And they did get the most first place votes, but not the total tally in terms of points.
Yeah, a ton of parity in the CAA. I mean, UNCW has an incredible pitching staff. Delaware, really nice offense. It'll be interesting to see how it all shakes out in May.
Campbell's pinch hitter, top of the lineup. Alyssa Hinault, 1 for 3, one of their 3 base hits. Each team 3 hits. And this is Tristan Doster, the junior catcher, transfer from the University of Iowa, where head coach Trina Prater was for 4 seasons as an assistant before taking this job a year ago.
Yeah, and I love this move. When you talk to Trina Prater about the bats in her lineup that stick out, Tristan Doster always comes up, does not get cheated, swings with aggression, and is not afraid to miss.
The Iowa native played 2 seasons for the Hawkeyes. You've got to imagine, at a minimum, enjoying the warmer weather in the beginning of the season. And a team best, 24 runs knocked in. Torres on to first. Press not have a base hit until Kelly Torres came up. 3rd batter of the 4th. Pinch hitter to start is the senior Sarah Goddard for the Blue Devils in the bottom of the 7th, stepping in for Jada Baker, who was 1 for 2.
Yeah, Sarah Goddard, one of the veterans on this team, one of the leaders on this team, will look to put this Duke team on her back late in this one. That's a nasty pitch by Isabella Smith, working up in the zone with the rise ball. Changing the eye level for Goddard to now Isabella Smith can work low and away. She can go back up even further. A lot of options for the redshirt junior.
Into center field, falling fast. Great play, Montgomery to lay out and get the first out in the bottom of the 7th.
A really nice swing by Sarah Goddard, but an even better play by Charlie Montgomery in center field. Ball straight at you, so hard to tell the depth. First step back, then charges in, makes the diving play. And folks, when looking at this game, if it goes Campbell's way, circle that play. Gets the leadoff out for the Camels.
Giselle Tapia is 0 for 2 in the number 9 spot. I think 2 things were difference makers today if this score holds, which with this offense, you never know. 1, defense. Those were prescient words from Trina Prater, the head coach of Campbell, before the game. An early error by Duke led to 2 runs for the Camels, and they've held the lead ever since the 2nd inning when they put 3 on the board. Defense a big part of it. Also for Duke, they've stranded 5 runners today, have not come through with runners on base. There are 2 runs and a Maya Burgess 2-run double to left. And that was last inning.
And Isabella Smith has just done such a good job of isolating Claire Davidson and Amina Vega. I mean, when you look at their recent success, those are the names that jump off the page. And of course, yeah, she's walked Claire Davidson twice, but she's kept those 2 hitless. And those 2 have been the common denominator in the recent success for Duke. And if she gets through this inning 1, 2, 3, she does not have to face Claire Davidson or Amina Vega.
Twice in 6 innings, she's faced the minimum, but only 1 true 1, 2, 3 inning without a runner on base. Oh, it's been a daunting evening for her trying to get the call on that side of the plate.
Yeah, Savannah White has done a really nice job behind the plate to make those pitches look pretty, but really appreciate the discipline by Randy McClam behind the plate, knowing that that pitch is too far in.
2-2, high in the air, playable. Sweeney and the Blue Devils are down to their final out of the night.
The center fielder, number 10, Deanna Jennings.
For Duke, a 27-game regular season home winning streak hangs in the balance. The Camels looking for their first win over a top 10 team ever. And it's Deanna Jennings, 0 for 3 with a couple of strikeouts, trying to keep it alive. Duke has only fallen 3 times this year.
And this is the batter, of course. You want to get the start out regardless, but you go at Deanna Jennings. Knowing who's on deck, knowing the power threat that Claire Davidson presents, you go at Jennings here.
It's on the ground to short. McLean is up with it. Her throw to first is not in time. And not particularly close either. Jennings is safe, and Duke now has the tying run at first and the winning run at the plate. But this play is going to be challenged.
And Deanna Jennings doing what she does best, using the wheels. This play was so tight, but it's clear Jennings is safe. And Duke lives to play another out.
It looked like she came up a little bit odd running through the bag as well.
If the umpire does not call it in real time, Trina Prater cannot review that call, which has been in the back pocket of head coaches all season long.
So it's Claire Davidson representing the winning run at the plate. Davidson, a team best 13 home runs. And she takes 2. First 2 trips to the plate didn't see much to hit. And they got her on a soft line out to short last time up in the 6th.
Yeah, it's a tough situation knowing you don't want to walk the leading run on base, but understanding how powerful Davidson is.
The 2-0 in the air right field. Sweeney comes in, and the Campbell Camels have their first win over a top 10 team ever. 3-2 this Wednesday night against
When it goes of arches, we'll find our sound. Listen up, let me tell you about making choices in life's symphony. We all have voices. Decisions we make, they shape our fate, but the right ones can lead to a brighter state. From the crossroads of doubt to the highways of hope, we navigate the maze, learning to cope with the weight of responsibility upon our shoulders, choosing wisely as the world grows cold. When decisions, they pave the way to a future bright, where we'll seize the day. In the echoes of our choices, we'll find our sound in the melody of life, where we're bound. Sometimes it's tough to know what's right. In the darkness of uncertainty we lose sight, but deep within there's a guiding light, leading us through the darkest night. With every step we take and every path we choose, we're writing our story, we can't afford to lose. So trust your gut and follow your heart, for the right decisions, they'll set us apart. Right decisions, they'll set us apart. Right decisions, they pave the way to a future bright, where we'll seize the day. In the echoes of our choices, we'll find our sound in the melody of life, where we're bound. Oh, yeah. So as we journey on through life's ups and downs, let's remember the power of the choices we found. For in the decision making, we hold the key to unlock the doors to who we're meant to be. Yeah, in the rhythm of life, let's dance with grace. With every right decision, we'll find our place in the symphony of existence, where we belong. Guided by our choices, we'll sing our song.